Hi and welcome to Budget Pioneer. This is going to be a series where we're going to show you some decks within the standard budget for Pioneer / Arena. Now for those who don't know, this deck series is something I used to do. It's built around the idea of if you were to open Arena now, make a new account and get these rares, you could run the deck. So we have an upper budget limit which will be explained in the description below. But this is going to be the first deck we're going to talk about, and it is Elves. True and tried Elf Ball. What does this deck want to do? Well, we want to flood the board with elves and either swing out with a pumped critical mass of elves or drain our opponents with a shaman of the pack. Now, this is not a finalized list, but it's a good starting block. There's a lot of fours that could be freeze, things that could be swapped out. You could find a full elf deck list if you have the wildcards for it online, but if you want to start new, this is a good budget option. So we're going to go top down and start with our Mythics. Now we are restricted to ultimately 4 Mythics because of the joys of this budget, and we're going to use 3 of them though for Cavern of Souls. Now you can have a full playset if you want 4. I went for 1 additional forest because of some of our rares that we'll discuss in a bit. But yeah, good land that turns off counter spells and fixes mana, since we are technically 2 colors. Then we'll look at our rare wildcards. We have Elvish Archdruid and Elvish Warmaster. So Elvish Warmaster, whenever we play an elf, we'll make another elf, and he has an ability for 7 mana to pump all our elves and give them Death Touch. He combos very well with Elvish Archdruid, which is a natural lord for elves, and taps for each elf we control. In addition to that, because we're a tribal deck, we have Collected Company, one of the best spells for tribal spells ever printed. 4 mana, 3 and a green for an instant. Look at the top 6 cards of your library, put 2 creature cards with mana value 3 or less among them onto the battlefield. Instant speed, flash it in, don't flash it in, a lot of fun ways to do it. With that in mind, we now move into our uncommon slot. So we'll start with the lands. I have 2 Secluded Courtyard and 4 Unclaimed Territory. You can spin these numbers however you have them if you don't want to craft the wildcards. These are just fixing lands because they let us tap for any color of a chosen creature type. And we also run Lead the Stampede. This is unofficial Collected Companies 5 to 8. Basically, we look at the top 5 and put any number of creatures into our hands, so it's a really good refill, particularly if opponents have board wipes or other ways, or we stall out. Finally, we have 4 of Harold, King of Skimar, whatever. He is a 5 mana mini Lead the Stampede that lets us get an elf or a warrior or a Tyvar and put it into our hand, rest in the bottom. 3/2 with Menace, pretty nice body. He's another way that we can just keep going, keep churning through our deck and finding more elves to cast. And finally, one of the common finishes of this deck, Shaman of the Pack. 1 black and green for a 3/2. When it enters, an opponent loses life equal to the number of elves we control. This can easily be 10, 11. We can literally kill with a double pact without even having to attack. But that's one of our main finishes. And finally, our commons, we have our classic. We have 4 Elvish Mystic, 4 Llanowar Elves as additional mana dorks because our lords and big drops are on 3, so we want to get them as fast as possible. Then we have 4 Dwinian's Elite, which is when it enters, we'll make an additional elf if we control another elf, so it's an easy way for us to flood the board, 2 bodies for 1. Elvish Visionary, we can enter and draw a card. Never underestimate the power of a simple cantrip. And finally, I'm running 12 forests. It's important we have green, either from our mana dorks or green to cast our companies and other effects which aren't technically elves. That's a quick deck tech. It'll run you a starter set, and we've got 3 matches to follow, so please enjoy and see if you like. The full list is in the deck list below. Alright, Elf Ball, here we go. So, this opening 7. We're gonna keep 6. Well, sorry, this missing the front of the recording. It's a bit slow, but we do have the Cavern of Souls, and I do see blue, which makes me scared. So we'll start with an elf, and we'll go immediately for the Elvish Visionary. Draws us a card. Turning off the fan; it's too loud. Stormbreak Drake, interesting. Let's drop down an Elvish Archdruid. That makes it a 2/2. Let's swing in and see what our opponent has here. Interesting, they do have a pump spell or protection spell for it. So, Tameo Safekeeping, interesting. This appears to be some kind of Simic Pump, Simic Prowess deck. It's quite interesting. Oh no, Simic Counters, sorry. That's what it was. So they just swing in for 2 here. They don't appear to have a fight spell. So, they tap him. So before we tap the Archdruid, it's important in an elf deck, just deploy elves. This is more mana for us later. Let's go for Lead the Stampede here. Add 2 elves to our hand. Throw down the Dwinian's Elite. I'll make this another elf. So now our Archdruid taps for 5. They March of Burgeoning Life to tutor out another cop. Interesting. Stormdrake. Swing in for 4. I don't think you'll win this race. Okay. Flooding a bit, so we'll play another land naming elf. We want to keep a black land if we can, in case we find a way to get to the... this is why we have to tap the Archdruid here. Well, no, tap here. Lead the Stampede. Use our mana. It will automatically try to use the Secluded on you. But you want to keep black open for cards like Harold here. So Harold makes an elf with that. And we find another Archdruid, which is another Lord. So we'll play that. Near lethal swing out here. So swing in. Our opponent cycles, showing that they are Bant. And they concede because I think they must not have a board wipe. Now, there is no sideboard with this deck. You can build your own sideboard in time, what you need to build with it and what chaff you have. Well, a 1-land hand is risky with elves, but not keepable at all. Drop this forest. We have a turn 1 Mystic into a War Master. It's a pretty good setup here. So, let's go. Elvish Mystic. Opponent plays a Venerated Rot Priest. Interesting. So let's go War Master into Elvish Mystic. Make another elf. This is the true power of Elf Ball. It is like a snowball that is a boulder. Like, if it rolls, you ain't gonna hold it. Combat Research gives us a poison counter. Interesting. There's a company, which is pretty good. So let's hold back here. These Shamans will be huge damage, but we'll swing in with the War Master. See if we can bait out a pump spell or protection spell. Here it comes. They go for Tyvar's Stand. So in response, we'll company. No Lords, so we'll just grab more Elves. Grab a Dwinian's Elite. We know we have Shaman of the pack, so we want to get as much Elves on the board as possible here. Our opponent needs to chain together a bunch of cantrips. Third Shaman is going to be insane, so Dwinian's Elite makes us an elf. Play the Shaman, does 10 damage, they go down to 10. We swing in with, and they concede. We elf balled pretty well. Okay, second match here. Renin 8 Avatar. Pretty nice one. Do I even have that one? There's so many now, I can't even keep up. Every set has like 12. This doesn't have a 1-drop. That's one of the key things we want to try and find if we can in an elf deck. Here we go. So we'll put the War Master away, because company is very powerful in this deck. And wait for our opponent. So, starting with blue, so let's play Llanowar Elf. It's an interesting play because this can tempt our opponent thinking that we might be a Green Devotion deck. So it might force him to misplay. Druid class, so this is some kind of Simic Landfall deck. There's a War Master into a Mystic, make us another elf. Pass back. Right, Druid class gains them life. They could have counter magic up. If they tap out here, I'm definitely more than likely just going to go for company. Reclaim the Waste, searching for a land. Interesting. Maddening Cacophony. Oh, is this a mill deck then? What is this? Alright, let's just company. Right, double War Master into double Mystic. Play another... Well, we're going to hold back a Llanowar Elf. And we swing in. So, our opponent now... We don't have enough for the War Master pump, I don't think. Hold on. 4, 5... Actually, no, we do with this land drop. They up the Druid class, but I don't think a War Master pump here is going to be lethal. They gain life. There's an Archdruid, which, if we resolve this, is a huge deal. It gives us a pump. Swing in, puts him down to 1. Wow. If we played the Llanowar Elf last turn, we would have had lethal there. I didn't want to overcommit into a board bounce or board wipe, though, so... Opponent activates level 3, turning a land, does not untap the land, passes back. Alright, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to attack. Okay. Right. Yeah. This appears to be a Simic landfall-y deck. So let's just see what we find here. Right, no. This hand is terribly slow, but I didn't want to go down to 5 here. We'll get rid of Havar and pass back. I also wanted to keep the Cavern because I believe they would probably sideboard into some kind of... Oh, whoa. The recording went a bit weird there. Right, let's just drop Elves. Dragon Guard Elite, so it's some kind of... Is this a Magecraft counters deck? So weird. We're drawing a ton of free drops here. Right, they got up to a 4/4. I do love Magecraft as a mechanic. Right, let's get a Lord down here. We just need to try and generate some value over time. Oh, they have removal. Yep, there's an ambush. Right, if we can draw another land, that'd be great. Yep, so let's go second Archdruid into Llanowar Elf. Opponent plays a Root. This appears to be just a Simic pile deck. Interesting. They did only have 60 cards. There's a tap down, swing for 7. We'll go down to 4. Play a land, play another Archdruid here. Play Harold King of Skiffar. Get another Dwinian's Elite because that's 2 bodies for this eventual craziness here. Right, okay. Winterfell's Blessing puts him down to 3. Yeah, they could have killed us there, right? If the Root Creeper was activated to grab back that spell, they could... No, they have to get it from exile, so they could kill us now. Right, with this in mind, let's Dwinian's Elite, because it's 2 bodies to block with. Then let's play ourselves a Shaman of the Pack. That's 6 damage to the opponent, put him down to 14. We can't get through the roadblock here, so we'll pass back. So if they... No, they can't kill us, because if they get back the spell, they have 2 tap downs, but we've got enough bodies to block. Double in the counters, up to 14. We'll chump with a token. Another elf, so we'll just keep flooding the board. We'll swing in with our Howard, because he has Menace. Right, if they fully swing out here, we can kill him on the crackback, and we can block well enough. Oh, there's a Blessing. And now they're going to flash back the Blessing again, yep. Taps down our other elf. They double swing in, so we will block and block. There's a... Okay, so we're going to tap and hold up black mana in case we draw anything relevant. We did not. Okay. We'll attack in, put them down to 6, try to scare them into not attacking. So they had the game win here. If they had activated the Root Creep to grab the spell from exile and then cast the tap down spell twice, they would have got the Dragon Guard Elite through our defenses here. Instead they go for a big flashy 32-32. They know they're dead here, so they swing out to force. They don't swing out. Yeah, they just block with 1. Yeah, well, we'll chomp with 1. I guess they just didn't find trample, so we'll just swing in with lethal here. They can't block enough, and we'll take this game versus Simic Pile. Yeah, because even if they block the biggest 4, we still do lethal. Yep. Yeah, they really threw that away. I think they had a win there in that second game. Alright, last game with the budget deck. Alright, last game with budget elves. Okay, this is a solid keep. We have a turn 1 mana dork. Opponent plays black into Stitches, interesting. Mill's free. So we did not find our next land, so let's just play another dork and pass back and hope we can block. Satyr Wayfinder, so this is an interesting deck. This was one I should highlight here. Elvish Archdruid to just give us mana, like I said. We've drawn most of our black only spells here and we're struggling. So opponent delves an angler, Grizzly salvages, puts more cards in the graveyard. Okay, so let's start with Elvish Visionary trying to draw a land. There's a land, so let's go Elf. Then we'll tap. Alright. Let's tap the Elvish Archdruid, play the War Master, then play Herald and to draw and make another token, grab a Visionary, then draw us another card, hold back. Really fun thing here with this deck opponent's playing. So we can't block, well we could block the Questing Beast, but we're just going to take it here because we're going for a lethal Shaman of the Pack finish here. So with that in mind, let's go with Elvish Visionary. Draws us a card. Right, tap. Be careful with this. You got to watch out for this. They really want to go in here. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use Shaman of the Pack, do 10 damage, pump with the Elvish War Master and swing in with 3 creatures. All of them have Death Touch, so they have to double block and block everything, and we are just going to take them out here with Death Touch. Nice, Stitches mill some more. Opponent concedes. Pretty good here. Now, the reason I love this deck, because I've seen it in a few decks, surprising, is this is a delve. It's a delve list. It's not the traditional Soulflayer list. This is just Golgari Delve that is running one of my favorite new cards from the space set, Cosmogoyf. Because I never considered the interaction between Cosmogoyf and Delve. So, watch this. Llanowar Elves. Opponent goes down to 2, goes for the throat to kill our Dork, really good. We'll just play Elf here and swing in, Stitcher Supplier, mills 3. Opponent, go for the big Delve, there's a Hooting Mandrills. Play a land, play King of Skemfar. We'll grab another King of Skemfar here, just to buy time. We'll take the hit here, we don't want to put more in the graveyard. There's a Cosmogoyf, which is already a 4/5. That's really sick. I love that interaction. Satyr Wayfinder. Mill some more. Right. They swing in, so in response we'll hit Company. Find a land and a War Master. Right, then we'll block the Hooting... yeah, we'll take it here. Go down to 6. It's risky, but it could be good. So, Company 1. Dwinians and Shaman. We will go up to 8 damage there. Then we'll go into next Company. Shaman, and our opponent concedes to a triple Company, which felt bad, but I really liked their deck. It was very cool. But that's our budget list.